Hey guys, it's Julie and welcome to my first ever weekly reading vlog. So this week I'm going to be reading the Folk of the Air series by Holly Black, and I'm actually going to be buddy reading this with my friend Sylvia, which if you don't know who she is yet from my previous videos, then that sucks for you because she's great. So we were supposed to start reading the first book on Sunday. It's Thursday, by the way. But yeah, so we were supposed to start reading the first book on Sunday. She started reading it, but I didn't because I had some homework to catch up on. And now she's a little over halfway through the book. She's on chapter 20, and I have not started it yet. So I have convinced her to hold off on reading for the next 2 days to at least let me try and catch up, which was very difficult because she is absolutely hooked on this book. I did just get home from class and I have work in an hour, so I'm gonna go try and read a little bit before then, and I will update you later. Alright, it's 2 days later. I did end up reading a little bit before I went to work on Thursday, and I was gonna read more and update you guys when I got home, but I ended up just going to sleep, and I haven't read since then, but I did make it to chapter 10. I'm 78 pages in right now, and I have a couple of hours before I have to go to work, so I'm hoping to make somewhat of a dent in this book because Sylvia already finished hers, so wish me luck. So I did manage to get through a good chunk of this book last night, and I haven't really had any oh shit moments yet, which Sylvia said that those come during the last couple of chapters of the book, but I am really enjoying the story so far. I did realize that I haven't told you anything about this book yet, so I'm just gonna read the synopsis for you guys really quickly, and it says, Jude was 7 when her parents were murdered, and she and her 2 sisters were stolen away to live in the treacherous High Court of Fairy.
10 years later, Jude wants nothing more than to belong there, despite her mortality. But many of the Fae despise humans, especially Prince Cardan, the youngest and wickedest son of the High King. To win a place at the court, she must defy him and face the consequences. As Jude becomes more deeply embroiled in palace intrigues and deceptions, she discovers her own capacity for trickery and bloodshed. But as betrayal threatens to drown the courts of Fairy in violence, Jude will need to risk her life in a dangerous alliance to save her sisters and Fairy itself.
So Jude wants to become a knight, which she hasn't achieved yet, but she did just make a magical deal with Prince Cardan's older brother, Prince Dane, and the deal was that she would essentially be immune to being mind-controlled by the other fairies, and in return she would spy on people for him and gather intel to make sure that he gets crowned as the next king. And there was this one part where she was spying on Prince Balakin, which is another one of their brothers, and he was making a servant beat Cardan. And I get why she couldn't, but there was a part of me that just hoped she would swoop in and save him, even though him and his friends have been absolutely terrible to her and her twin sister Taryn. But that could have been the start of something, you know? I do know that Cardan and Jude are gonna end up together later on, but I just wish that would hurry up a bit, because right now Jude is with Locke, who is one of Cardan's friends, and I don't like their relationship. Their relationship is really cute, but I just feel like it's very tame, and I just want that flavor, you know? I want that enemies to lovers angst. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep reading. I feel like it's taking me a really long time to get through this book, just because I've had work for the last couple of days, so I haven't really been able to read as much as I would have liked, but I am determined to finish this book tonight. Sylvia was not wrong. The book definitely does pick up during the second half, and I need to rant. First of all, Prince Balakin literally killed the entire royal family for the throne, except for Cardan, because he couldn't find Cardan. But, like, chapter 20 is all just murder. I was sitting there reading that chapter, and he just killed one person after another, after another, after another, and I'm just reading this, and each time I was thinking, okay, this is gonna be the last one, this is gonna be the last one, and then it just kept going until he murdered his entire family. And then there was that whole thing with Locke and Jude's twin sister Taryn, which was just So towards the beginning of the book, Taryn says that she wants to fall in love and marry one of the fairy boys. And I assumed that it was probably going to be Locke, just because he seemed like one of the nicer ones of Cardan's friends. And, you know, like, he was nice to Jude, and then there was that one scene where him and Taryn were, like, standing together and talking to each other. So I was like, alright, it's probably gonna be him that Taryn ends up with. But then he ended up flirting with Jude, and I was just like, why? Like, this is weird, and I just found it really suspicious, but that kind of, like, faded away when Jude went over to his house, because he, like, started complimenting her and, like, saying these nice things, and fairies can't lie. So I was like, okay, he does actually think these things about her. He does like her. So, like, maybe this relationship is genuine. So then fast forward to the coronation right before Balakin murders his entire family. At this point, Jude already knows that Taryn has, like, found a guy and that he's going to propose to her during the coronation. So Jude and Locke are dancing, and he starts asking her a bunch of weird questions about love. Like, he asks her if she loves him, if she loves him enough to break a promise for him, if she loves him enough to let him go. And at that point, like, the red flags just start coming back, you know. And later on, she sees him with Taryn, and she basically starts to connect the dots. And that really got to me, because it's one thing for Locke to be a terrible person, but it's another for Taryn to just completely betray her sister like that. Like, especially because she knew the entire time that he was just stringing Jude along, and she didn't say anything. Like, she just let her believe that he actually liked her. And I found Taryn a little bit annoying in the beginning of the book, because I just thought, like, she was really whiny and just not a good sister to Jude. But now I really don't like her, and I don't know if there's anything that she can do to redeem herself. Maybe they find something for her, like, later on in the series, but as of right now, I really don't like her, and, like, I don't think I will. Hi, don't mind my hair. I just got it cut earlier today, and it is a little dirty because I'm going to dye it right after this. But I did finish reading The Cruel Prince last night, and I was pretty happy with the ending. Alright, so basically, Oak, who is Jude's younger stepbrother, is apparently Prince Dane's son, who everyone thought was murdered while he was still in the womb, but apparently not, because Oriana, who is Jude's stepmom, literally performed surgery on Oak's birth mother as she was dying, and, like, ripped him out of her stomach and then adopted him. So, yeah. So because Oak is a descendant of the royal family and he has royal blood in his veins, he is able to wear the crown, and he is also able to give it to another member of their family if he wishes to do so. So Jude and Cardan basically make this elaborate plan. Well, Jude makes the plan, but Cardan goes along with it. It's like a whole plan to basically steal the crown from Balakin and give it to Oak, because there's only 3 possible people who can wear the crown, and that's Prince Balakin, Prince Cardan, or Oak. And, like, nobody wants Balakin on the throne. I mean, like, nobody in their right mind wants Balakin on the throne. Cardan doesn't want it, and, you know, Oak seems like the last viable option. So they plan to give it to Oak so that he can be the king, but towards the end, she kind of ends up betraying Cardan in a way, and she has Oak crown Cardan instead so that he can basically occupy the throne until Oak grows up and he's old enough and ready to, like, take the throne. And I just found the scene of Oak placing the crown on Cardan's head to be super cute. And, like, I kind of expected it because I figured that Cardan was going to end up being the king at the end of the book, but I just didn't know how it was going to happen. And considering the fact that he didn't want to be king in the first place, he was pretty pissed off at Jude when he was crowned, and, like, towards the end, he's like, well, you wanted me to be king, alright, I'm wearing the crown, I'm king, like, I'm the face of this campaign, but you're gonna be the one that's ruling Fairy. And yeah, and that's how the book ends. So I definitely am excited to read the second book because towards the end of the book, the chemistry between Jude and Cardan just, you know, like there was something there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my hair, and between processing time, I will read the book. Hi guys, so I thought that I finished this vlog, but apparently not. The last time that I updated you guys, I was finishing up the first book, and then I was gonna go dye my hair and start the second book. I did end up finishing the first book, and I read the first couple of chapters of the second book, but then school got pretty hectic, so I had to put the book down, and I fell into a kind of reading slump. I picked the book up again a couple of days ago, and I did not remember what happened in the first couple of chapters, so I had to start it over. But I'm not going to show you me finishing the rest of the series in this video, just because I feel like this video would be too long. But I'm probably going to film it and make a part 2 to this vlog. But yeah, sorry if this video was a bit chaotic, because I had to go back and forth between reading and stopping because of school and work. And I also wanted my friend Sylvia to be in this video, but our schedules didn't really align, so that was an issue as well. But if you made it this far, thank you for sticking around. Oh, and fun little fact, if you notice the cat behind me, this is Mr. Tuxedo Pants, or Tux for short. I found him on the street and he followed me home. So I ended up abducting him, and now I have a cat. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!